So, the new Call of Duty Cold War, or Black Ops Cold War, yeah, a very, very long name, is out, and I've been playing it for the past few days, and it's got its good points, it's got its bad points, it's got its problems that are causing a lot of issues on consoles, and I'm kind of just going to I suppose, give a review, as well as just talk about the game in general, any problems that I've come across, fixes of how to sort them out, and all that sort of stuff. One thing I will say, I've been playing it pretty much all day, every day since the date of release, and I am actually looking for people to play with. A lot of my mates are still playing like Warzone or Modern Warfare, and if I'm honest, I don't like the BR anymore, so I'm looking for people to play with on both Zombies and on multiplayer, and we have actually been playing with people from the Discord, so if you want a chance to get into like games and stuff with me, make sure you join the Discord. There's a link down in the description. You'll also see something popping up on screen as well. Now, first things first, I'm going to start with the bad points before we move on to the good stuff, just so I can kind of talk about issues that I've had, fixes, workarounds, and all that sort of stuff. Now, I'm actually playing this on the Xbox Series X, simply because with Call of Duty I game share with my wife, and she refuses to buy a PlayStation, so yeah, it's kind of the only option that I've got, really. First problem that I've encountered playing the new COD is it turns your console off every now and again. If you're playing, you can sit there halfway through a game and it'll freeze and your console will suddenly turn off, and that's kind of it. And the only workaround that there's been so far, now my wife had the same issue, but hers was turning off literally every half an hour. It was a massive issue on day of release. And it happened that she was booting up the wrong version of the game. So if you're playing on PS5, if you're playing on Series X, make sure that you're actually like launching the PS5 version or the Series X version, because if you're actually trying to launch the old version, for whatever reason, it crashes your console and makes it turn off. So after sorting that issue, it kind of worked fine for my wife. Hers hasn't turned off since. I was playing it all day yesterday, and I only actually encountered the issue once, and yeah, that was kind of it. Second problem. Zombies. Now, the gameplay for Zombies is beautiful. It's great. It's awesome, and it's really fun to play. But if you're playing it with your friends, if you're trying to get in a party and stuff, the issue is it's a constant connection interrupted kind of thing, which gets really irritating because it doesn't do it at the start of the game, it does it halfway through. We was playing it in a group of 4 yesterday. We got pretty much 3/4 through to like the end of the Easter egg, and connection interrupted. 2 people in the party ended up getting kicked, couldn't get back in, and yeah, it kind of ruined it for us. So we ended up stopping playing Zombies for the day and jumping straight back over to multiplayer, because that weren't an issue. The only bad thing that happened with multiplayer was every now and again at the end of a round, people would get kicked from the party. You just have to back out the lobby, bring them back in, and carry on playing, which isn't a massive thing. The only other bad thing that I've actually found about the game, like actual gameplay wise, is for me, it is very much like Modern Warfare, but it's not got as many issues. With Modern Warfare, the thing that I always found was every single round, people would be hiding behind doors with a riot shield, and that was kind of it. You were screwed. Cold War doesn't have riot shields, and it also doesn't have doors, which makes it a little bit easier. However, it is the usual Call of Duty where it's very campy. Some games you'll find that people don't move at all, both teams, and it's one of them things that annoys me on Call of Duty anyway. But you kind of get used to it. After a few games and you play it for a few hours, you kind of get used to the spots where they hide in, the head glitch spots and all that sort of stuff. And you kind of know where to expect it, where to avoid, different routes to run to pop them in the back instead of getting shot in the face over and over again. So far for me, those are the only kind of issues that I've actually had with the game. Moving on to the good stuff though, the gameplay for it is actually pretty fun. On the Zombies, obviously the gameplay in the background at the moment is just a game that I had on it yesterday. It took me a while to kind of get into my flow, but we had a decent game, and I think we ended up finishing like 40 something to 10. It was a decent game, I enjoyed it, so I thought I'd use it as the gameplay for kind of talking about it. The other thing that you might kind of see, the gameplay looks a little bit stuttering. That's nothing to do with the game itself. It's Elgato's. I'm having a bit of trouble with my Elgato at the moment with Next Gen, because for some reason, and I don't know why, even though they're supposed to be fully compatible, if you've got your Xbox kind of set up to go to 120, 4K and all that sort of stuff, when you're trying to record gameplay, it doesn't seem to have a clue what's going on, and it's a little bit stuttery. So you guys watching that can kind of see that, I do apologise. I'm looking at getting a new Elgato, new HDMIs and all that sort of stuff, or just looking at a different way to record altogether. As soon as PS5 comes out, I am curious to see what the recording feature's like, what the streaming feature's like. I know we used to do it on PS4, on games, and the only thing that I found was stuff looked a bit pixelated, there was really bad motion blur on certain games. And it's the reason why I actually ended up buying an Elgato, just to capture gameplay to make it crisper and clearer. But when it comes down to PS5, I'm really curious to see what that's like. Not actually spoke to anyone or seen anyone that's used the gameplay recording feature yet to actually upload to YouTube, so yeah, that'll be interesting. But yeah, back to Cold War, getting sidetracked there. But yeah, the gameplay for it's pretty cool. The zombies, I've absolutely loved it. The other, actually, moving on to another problem, the ray tracing. On Xbox Series X, every now and again, like, it goes dark, light, and it's not the ray tracing how it's supposed to be. It's kind of like the lighting's bugged. Needs a patch, needs an update. Not just me, it's anyone that's actually playing it with ray tracing turned on an Xbox. Not too sure what it's like on a PlayStation, but yeah. But yeah, the zombies, I'm loving it. It's just that you can't play it in a party with your friends. It's different, and the different things that are in it, I like. I was afraid at first. I thought it'd make it awful. But you play for, like, say, 10 rounds and you get a crystal. That crystal you can use to upgrade stuff. So you can, every single sort of weapon, you can add 10% damage, which stays forever. You can add stuff to your perks. So you'll start off with, say, Jug, you'll get an extra bit of health. You can do it so you also get an extra bit of armor and bits of other stuff. It takes a lot of playing zombies to upgrade everything, but it's pretty cool. It works well. There's also ammo boxes lying around. You don't ever have to get to that point where you're running out of ammo. You have to go down and end because you haven't had a max ammo drop. Now there's crates lying around the map that you can run up to. Spend your points to get your ammo, and it works really well. And now you can literally play it skill based rather than drop based. It's not based on luck to whether or not you're going to get through to the next round, if you know what I mean, which I really, really enjoy. And that's the same with multiplayer. The one thing that I used to find with multiplayer, every now and again, and it wasn't all the time, it was literally every now and again, if I went on a massive streak and I didn't run the scavenger, which is a perk which I never used to use, there was other stuff that I'd rather use, it'd get to the point where I'd run out of ammo and I'd have to hide around a corner, wait for someone, run around, punch them in the face and steal their gun. Which was awful, because a lot of the time I'd end up with like a sniper rifle or something, which I cannot use in multiplayer. And now you can literally run back to your spawn and there's an ammo crate, which again you can just refill and kind of go from there. And actually having that in the game just makes it so much more fluid. You never need to kind of worry about it. The weird thing is though, there's still the scavenger perk, which I kind of get, because obviously if you're staying in the middle of the map and you kind of patrol in an area, you don't want to have to run out of that area, try and get back to your spawn to refill your ammo. So yeah, I kind of understand, but at the same point, for me it kind of works perfect, because I'm a runner and gunner, I never stick to one area. So I can run around the map, get to a spawn, realise that, oh no, I'm running low on ammo, just kind of refill it and kind of carry on going from there. It worked really well. The maps, the one thing that I will say, it doesn't feel like Call of Duty Black Ops. Not at all. The maps are too big. Satellite I found awful. Literally, I've got bad eyesight as it is. So when I'm playing a game, the map's absolutely huge. Usually I'll just get picked off and sniped constantly. And when people are kind of just blended into the rocks, hiding, head glitching from the other side of the map and you can't even see them, for me, it just made it awful. But all in all, the game is pretty fun. The maps are a bit too big. I think the big maps need more players on them. The zombies needs to get sorted with the party stuff so you can actually play it with your friends without getting kicked out. The lighting effects need to be updated and the overheating needs to be updated. But all in all, personally, I've really been enjoying the game and it's something that I'm definitely going to be sticking with. It doesn't feel as bad as Modern Warfare, but it doesn't feel like Black Ops. It feels somewhere in the middle, which I suppose is a good thing because it mixes things up a little bit. But I'm going to be interested to see what comes next. I know Nuketown's coming out soon, which is always hectic. I know we're getting some other stuff, the Battle Pass and stuff. I'm hoping we get some crazy skins. I'm hoping we get some crazy characters. And it'll be really, really fun to see. Leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. But that's pretty much it. I hope you've enjoyed the video, found it useful. If you have, a like would be awesome. Don't forget to subscribe as well if you're new. We will be back to the usual just PlayStation Plus content next week as soon as my PS5's here, which hopefully doesn't have any issues, which I know a lot of you guys have been having issues due to like memory problems and stuff, which pretty much leave you with a brick. Hopefully, touch wood, I don't have the same issue. But cheers for watching, guys, and I'll catch you next time.